I want to tell you all that this situation with Wendy Williams is absolutely terrifying, and it appears that Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, Kanye, and all of the other people who have been trying to warn us about what happens when celebrities step out of line were right all along. According to the rumors that are circulating, Wendy is being held as a hostage by the individuals who have placed her under the guardianship of the financial system. Additionally, it is said that the newly released documentary was a component of their strategy to persuade the general public that Wendy is unstable and requires the assistance of a guardian. There is no one who can deny that Wendy has experienced difficulties over the course of her life. But what really blows my mind is the fact that her bank, Wells Fargo, froze her assets before they had any evidence that she was unable to make decisions for herself, and after that, Wendy was given a diagnosis of dementia. The passage of 2 years has given us the impression that they are actually playing with our faces. In the end, we are aware that Wendy possessed a great deal of information on a number of influential individuals, and she was not afraid to divulge it. Back in the 1990s, she was one of the first people to publicly hint at Diddy's DL lifestyle, which ultimately resulted in Diddy banning her from all New York radio stations. She was one of the first people to do so. In point of fact, Gene Deal, who had previously served as Diddy's bodyguard, confirmed that he had personally witnessed Diddy making phone calls to radio executives, directing them to remove Wendy from the list of stations that are blacklisted. Furthermore, this is just one example out of many others. Wendy has been known to speak out against a large number of influential and well-known individuals throughout the course of her career. These individuals include the so-called elite of Hollywood, as well as politicians. Does this imply that Wendy was actually silenced because she knew too much more than she should have? In what specific ways did Katt Williams disclose information about Wendy's predicament? Okay, I'm sure that by this point you've all heard the unfortunate news about Wendy Williams. The news that Wendy Williams has been diagnosed with aphasia and frontotemporal dementia was announced just a few days after the premiere of a new documentary titled Where Was Wendy Williams? On Lifetime on February 24th. A disorder known as aphasia is characterized by difficulties in speaking, writing, and comprehending both spoken and written language. Aphasia can also affect these abilities. When it comes to frontotemporal dementia, it is a condition that is characterized by rapid progression and also results in the degeneration of the brain. As of right now, there is neither a cure nor a treatment available for frontotemporal dementia. In the long run, the individual who has been diagnosed will require care around the clock in order to carry out their daily activities. In light of the fact that we have all witnessed Wendy struggling with a variety of health issues over the course of her life, she has been very forthcoming about her struggles, including her fight against Graves' disease, her struggle with alcohol and substance abuse, in addition to the autoimmune disorder that affects the thyroid gland, contributes to her condition. As a result of the fact that Wendy's bank, Wells Fargo, declared her to be an incapacitated person and frozen her assets, Wendy's supporters are expressing their belief that the diagnosis of dementia is a cause for concern. In January 2022, shortly after the iconic Wendy Williams show was taken off the air, Wells Fargo abruptly frozen all of Wendy's accounts and prevented her from accessing her financial statements. This occurred shortly after the show was canceled. A petition was submitted to the New York Supreme Court by Wells Fargo, arguing that Wendy is an incapacitated person and that her situation is concerning. The petition stated that Wendy is in need of a financial guardian and that she is an incapacitated person. It is our hope that the court will immediately appoint a temporary guardian or evaluator to review the situation and ensure that Williams' affairs are being handled in the appropriate manner, the petition stated. On the other hand, Wendy's attorney, Celeste McCaw, retaliated by claiming that Wendy's former financial advisor, Laurie Schiller, had lied to Wells Fargo about Wendy's mental state. In the document that Wendy's attorney submitted to the court, she disclosed that Wendy had previously terminated Laurie Schiller due to their professional relationship being characterized by inappropriate behavior. Consequently, in order to exact her vengeance on Wendy, Laurie allegedly went behind Wendy's back and persuaded Wells Fargo that Wendy is unable to manage her assets and requires a guardian as soon as possible. In addition, Wendy's attorney filed a petition for a temporary restraining order against Wells Fargo, arguing that the bank was violating Wendy's sovereign right to access her financial assets and statements. On the other hand, the court signed ed with Wells Fargo, and in December of 2022, it was disclosed that attorney Sabrina Morrissey had been appointed as Wendy's financial guardian. Now, I would also like to bring to your attention the fact that Wendy herself has publicly accused Laurie Schiller and Wells Fargo of plotting against her in order to place her under guardianship. Furthermore, as you will hear in this recording, Wendy did not come across as incoherent or as having a mind that was not functioning properly. She made complete sense and calmly explained how members of her team were allegedly plotting against her. As can be seen, Wendy did not exhibit any symptoms of aphasia or other dementia-related conditions, and she did not have any difficulties communicating verbally. However, her representatives are now asserting that she was diagnosed some time ago and that the reason she resigned from her talk show was because of her diagnosis. It is important to note, however, that Wendy's family members have expressed concern regarding Wendy's guardianship. Kevin Jr., Wendy's son, made the allegation that certain members of Wendy's team were intentionally pressuring her to consume alcohol and then providing her with documents and contracts to sign while she was under the influence of alcohol. If they aren't providing it, they are definitely enabling a type of personality and giving her the green light to drink, Kevin Jr. said to The Sun. If they aren't providing it, they are definitely. The individual who has been hired is taking advantage of someone who has a lot of room for improvement. In addition to this, he asserted that Wendy's team exerted pressure on her to sign contracts either during her time in rehabilitation or immediately after she left it. On the other hand, when I found out that she was agreeing to things concerning her rehabilitation, I thought to myself, well, okay, they are taking advantage of her. Kevin remarked. At this moment, Sabrina Morrissey, Wendy's financial guardian, filed a lawsuit against Lifetime after the documentary was released, and she attempted to prevent the documentary from being broadcast on the network. This is another interesting fact. However, according to the documents that were obtained by The Hollywood Reporter, Morris's complaint was immediately dismissed. Some fans speculated that Wendy's guardian filed that motion against her Lifetime as a distraction to divert attention away from her and make it appear as though she actually has Wendy's best interests at heart. This led to the speculation that Wendy's guardian filed the motion. During this time, fans also began to draw parallels between Wendy's situation and Britney Spears' conservative upbringing. Britney disclosed during a court hearing that she had been given dangerously high doses of lithium and that she had been given a misdiagnosis. This information was later used as an argument to support the claim that she was unable to handle her own finances. It is also peculiar that Britney disclosed that her attorney, who was ostensibly interested in assisting her, as well as the conservatorship, advised her not to disclose her story to the general public. Consequently, fans began to speculate that her attorney was working together with Britney's conservators to plot something. The conversation was then joined by Kanye West, who asserted that he too had been prescribed a high dosage of lithium medicine. Moreover, when the host made the suggestion that they were attempting to take him out like Michael Jackson, Kanye stated that they were actually attempting to take him out like Britney Spears. Dave Chappelle disclosed that he had to flee to Africa after declining a $50 million deal from Comedy Central. The reason for his decision was that Comedy Central was attempting to persuade him to take antipsychotic medication. This revelation was made even years before Britney and Kanye announced their disagreement. Therefore, it appears that there is a pattern in Hollywood that whenever a celebrity steps out of the public eye or begins speaking out on specific issues, they are either labeled as insane, become addicted to something, placed under conservatorship, or even worse. Katt Williams has also recently spoken out about this topic, claiming that he attempted to warn people about controversial figures such as R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, and Diddy. He was threatened and told to keep his mouth shut years before the entire thing was brought to light, but he decided to keep quiet. When it comes to gathering information on influential people, isn't this exactly what Wendy Williams has been doing for what seems like years? Katt referred to these Hollywood deviants as deviants, and we can't really say that we can put anything past them. Moreover, Wendy's supporters are now speculating that there is more to her predicament than initially appears to be the case. I believe they are determined to do away with Wendy, and they are doing so slowly in order to claim that they are doing so because of personal illness, said one of the fans. As soon as she admitted that she was in rehabilitation while she was in charge of the show, I had the impression that she had no control over her life. And yet another individual wrote they froze her bank account, they have her isolated, her family doesn't know where she is, and when the production crew began to do a documentary about the come-up of Wendy Williams, they wouldn't leave after they saw the state that she was in because they were concerned about her. Only after the production had already been broadcast did a stranger decide to file a lawsuit against her, despite the fact that they had been appointed as her legal guardian. In any case, what are your thoughts on Wendy's predicament? Are you of the opinion that someone is trying to silence her because she knows too much? The comment section is where you should leave your thoughts.